Hey, welcome to our very first update from Cochiquinas, right on the Amazon River in the jungle of Peru. So, man, what a whirlwind it's been since we got here to Cochiquinas 2 weeks ago. The people here are much more friendly now that they know that we're here to stay. We are blessed with the funds to bring in solar from Iquitos this time, which has really helped with the blackouts during the day. For electricity, we're able to keep moving air with our fans, and our refrigerator is still running during the day to keep our food fresh, so that's been nice. We are one of the very first missionaries to have high-speed internet this deep in the jungle, thanks to our faithful donors and to Starlink. It doesn't always work 100% of the time. However, it is enough to get word out to you and to our family that we're still moving forward here in the Amazon jungle. So praise God for that. Since we began coming to the Amazon about 4 years ago, we have learned so much. What we thought we knew, we are now finding wasn't completely accurate to reality. It was simple things like wondering why they didn't even take care of or maintenance anything. We're finding out that this is because the harsh climate of the jungle consumes everything. Like a hammer being rusted after only a week, everything they use gets rusted. Tools, machetes, utensils, the parts on their motorcycles, tuk-tuks. You can hear a chainsaw behind me right now. Everything they use gets rusted from the climate. The rain prevents projects from being completed in a timely manner. The levels of the river, which is the main thoroughfare for transportation of product, people, and livestock, affect timely transportation and deliveries. And massive debris fields frequently float down the river, ones that could literally take out a boat motor with one untimely collision. The current of the Amazon River is anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour, which makes it the fastest flowing river in the world by volume. So boating on the Amazon is never really for leisure or fun, mostly for necessity. In the last 8 hours, it's been raining nonstop and has turned everything here soggy into mud. It was a chore just to walk down to Little Tienda without slipping, because staying clean is not an option. Here, the economy is virtually non-existent. They have little to no money. A lot of the fruit and vegetables are seasonal. The village electricity rotates on a rolling blackout schedule daily, making it impossible for freezing or preserving food. Solar has really helped us with this issue. The physical efforts to simply exist takes all of our energy. We live in a wooden house that's not sealed off to the outside critters, pretty much equivalent to a woodshed in the American backyard. Yet even our living conditions here are better than most of the residents. In the last 2 weeks, we have lost 10 to 15 pounds each, which I guess is not really a bad thing. When it rains, we scramble to catch the water so that we have fresh water for dishes and laundry. Without this, we would be forced to use the river water, which is extremely dirty and one of the largest contributors to the illnesses here. The people in the village we live in only take 1 day off a week, which is Sunday. Every other day, they are up at 5:30 gathering water from the river and starting their day. It would cost close to a year's wage for a Cochiquinan family to buy a freshwater catch and tank system for their home. Although the roosters are consistent in making sure that the village is awake by 4 a.m. each morning, the Peruvian national anthem is played loudly through the village at 6 a.m. They broadcast announcements through the community, and then all of a sudden the village comes alive with everyone needing to get their work done before noon, when the high temperature and humidity rule the land, sending everyone to their homes for siesta until around the evening time. About 3 or 4 p.m. they head back to the river to do their laundry, bathe, and prepare dinner. All of this to repeat the following day. There's 2 questions we really don't ask around here. First of all, what do you do for fun? There is really no time for fun. The most laughter that you'll hear is down by the river in the afternoon while they are bathing and doing laundry. You can hear the kids swimming and laughing while the mothers are washing their clothes. And yes, they are swimming in one of the most dangerous rivers in the world. When it's not raining here, we find some people playing volleyball in the evenings in front of their homes. On Saturday nights, you can hear the local bars playing music until about 4 or 5 a.m. on Sunday. That's just about the extent of their fun. The second question is, what does a normal day look like? A normal day, we have found there is no such thing as a normal day. Every day we wake up, we're subject to the Amazon jungle. Rain, heat, humidity, damages, insects, theft, crisis, and discouragement rule the land. For example, last Monday, we were to resume projects on the mission house, but the rain canceled our plans. The roof is leaking, the vultures scattered our garbage, and the river was untravelable due to debris. All right, we said, we'll just try it again on Tuesday. So Tuesday brought blistering heat, which halted our productivity to a crawl. It was all that we had in us just to get up and cook, clean, and do our daily chores for the day. So then there's Wednesday. We would have our first pastoral training and then work on some house projects trying to make it livable. During the training on Wednesday morning, we were informed that one of the neighboring village's pastors, Moises, who planned on attending the training, was with his wife who had just miscarried a full-term baby the night before. So we immediately put our plans on hold and traveled down the river to pray with the family. As we arrived, the setting was grim. The baby was swaddled in a cloth on a table, and some family members were making a tiny little casket out of wood. There were candles all around the baby to help with the smell, and the mother, Madeleine, was on a bed in a small room in the back that was at least 120 to 130 degrees with no airflow. She had an infection and was running a fever. We fervently prayed with her and the family. Thanks be to God, we were able to help in getting her to a hospital where she is physically making a recovery. But the emotional recovery we leave to prayer and encouragement. Only God can heal the broken hearts. Midwives and doctors of any kind are hours away by river. Oftentimes, emergencies are handled by the families and local friends. For instance, a family friend of ours' son, Juan Luis, stepped on a rusty nail that same night, and it went through his foot about 1.5 inches. We went over to see how he was doing, and they were about ready to open his foot up with a rusty blade. We asked them to hold off for a couple minutes and came back with a flashlight, some sterile medical supplies that they could use to treat it, proper ointments, and we bandaged him up properly. We later found out that they were able to take him to a local clinic to get him a tetanus shot. He's healing slowly, but no infection, praise God. When we woke up on Thursday morning, we were already exhausted from the day before on the river. Our plans quickly changed from our intended projects to having to install our bed in our room upstairs. You see, the upstairs of our home is a conduit for heat, but it remains the safest room in the house for us to sleep in. Over the past 4 years we've been coming here, we have been sleeping in hammocks, and they are very comfortable. However, long term, they're not really practical when you're used to the security of sleeping next to your spouse every night. We brought a foam, which is very hard, from Iquitos, and had a local builder here make a bed frame for us. Then we took a pop-up tent, screened picnic tent, and duct taped it to a tarp, making the contraption completely bug-free. Now we have an actual bed that sits in a screened enclosure. For the first time, we're able to sleep next to each other in the jungle. We keep praying that God makes the foam comfortable. Yes, it's hot, anywhere from 87 to 98 degrees with no AC. Yes, it's muggy, 90 to 100% humidity. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but we're together and bug-free, and that's all that matters. Friday, we finally finished the project of many for the week, the soffits for the upstairs, making the larger critters like rats, cats, and frogs feel extremely unwelcome. So far, it's working. Saturday was supposed to be a day of rest, but true to form, there were regular living household chores to complete. Cleaning out the water tanks, trimming the trees before the big storm came, retaping the mosquito net over our bed, removing spiders from all the corners, nooks, and crannies of the house, collecting rainwater for dishes and laundry. Then there's finishing the laundry from the day before. It takes time for things here to dry during the rainy season, so sometimes they have to sit on the line for a couple days. But at night we need to bring the laundry in so that it doesn't get stolen, chewed on by critters, or blown away. So we have to rehang it the following day. Everything here is a process, and it always takes a long time. Our relationship with each other has morphed in a way that we could have never expected. We finally found a groove that works seamlessly together. It's not always perfect, and the harsh climate zaps our energy so much that there's times where one of us has to pull the lion's share of the weight. But for the most part, God has always kept one of us strong when the other one is weak. We are the only people in this entire village, or the majority of the Amazon for that matter, who understand each other. And we're the only gringos who have ever attempted to live in Cochiquinas. So the people here are very curious about us as well. Apparently they don't like our food either. We are learning so much every day about the culture and the people. Many things that would make sense to us don't really make sense to them. And of course, vice versa. The language here is Spanish, but it's a little bit of a different dialect than what we have learned in our books that we've been studying and in our phone translator apps. And so it's even somewhat different than what's in Iquitos and Lima. So we are constantly learning new words that we can't translate through our apps. Every day we wake up and we spend time in the Word, and then we work on our Spanish. We're getting there, slowly but surely. The verse that is most personified in this season of ministry is Proverbs 16:9. The heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. In our diligence, we want to make sure that we have a plan, but God is always working ahead of us. Each morning, our prayer is for God to show us where He is working and to guide us in joining Him there. And boy, has He. As always, we're so thankful for those of you who support us and encourage us and love us through texts and emails, social media. We couldn't do this without you, and God has been so good and gracious, and we're so thankful for all of you. So thanks so much, and hope you have a great day.